Welcome to the GameGO podcast, guys. It's a podcast where we talk about video games and whatever the hell else we feel like talking about. I'm H8BitHero.
Hey guys, I'm Sonorith.
Hey, guess what I remembered after like 2 weeks?
2 weeks?
3 weeks. Yeah.
Sometime.
So I had some plumbing issues that stopped us from 1 week, and then the next week, you weren't feeling.
I felt horrible.
Yeah.
My head was killing me.
I'm glad that you're feeling a lot better now because we're all here.
I was worried it was like a Tuesday thing, and because it happened like 2 or 3 weeks in a row, and then it stopped finally. So hopefully we're all.
Oh yeah, like we were cursed.
Yeah. Oh no, my head too. So
was it? It had hurt the week before as well.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Or the week before that. Either way, yeah. So I'm feeling better today. Your toilet's feeling better today. We're all good.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what sucks too is my toilet felt bad like 2 days after I fixed it again.
Why?
It wasn't the toilet, not just that toilet. It's not my fault.
Wait, okay, you gotta...
But our main plumbing thing going outward, so everything was clogged.
I thought you were just really bad at bathrooms.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't have enough hours.
Okay, anyway. All right, let's move on to the news while you guys are all here. There's a couple of things happening this week. First I want to talk about is Street Fighter 5. They're getting new costumes that are based on Darkstalkers. They're coming today, actually. And this was on last week's, but it feels worth mentioning today. Jury is getting a Lilith costume. Urian is getting a Donovan costume. And Minit is getting a H8Bit costume. I think, yeah. And they're $3.99 each. So if you guys are fans of either Street Fighter or Darkstalkers, it's a good time to buy.
It's pretty cool that they're just... I mean, I don't think there's anything else Darkstalkers related like for a while. I don't think Morrigan or any of the characters outside of their inclusion sometimes in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah.
I don't think they've been mentioned at all. It's kind of cool that they just, hey, here's some Darkstalkers costumes now.
Yeah, Capcom's been doing that a lot lately, like with the crossovers. They're adding Dante and other people, I want to say.
To
Mega Man to Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it looks like that's starting to bleed over into their other properties if they hadn't already done this before. I don't remember if they have. Mm-hmm. Either way, if you like fighting Street Fighter, there's more stuff for you to spend your money on. I don't think you can buy these with in-game money, so that's kind of unfortunate. But, yeah, if you like Darkstalkers, go buy those. Fortnite is under attack. There is a comment incoming in the game. If you play the Battle Royale mode, and you look up into the sky,
which is basically the one mode that people play.
Pretty much. The one they've been working on for 7 years. There's a comet in the sky, and I've read about this on Sunday, which was April Fool's Day, which is like, okay, that's a cute thing for them to add. Like, oh, the world's going to end. But apparently this has been in the game for like the last week or so, and it's getting bigger by the day.
I didn't notice that because I haven't been playing daily.
Yeah.
I saw it after it had gotten some mention, but I didn't know that it was getting bigger by the day.
Yeah, I think it was a Kotaku article I read. You should check that out, where they show, like, the header image is like, this is what it looks like today. And later in the post, they're like, this is what it looked like when it first appeared, and it is significantly smaller.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's like, yeah, it's getting closer.
Nice.
There's some theories. One I read about was that it's going to herald the arrival of the free-to-play Save the World mode, which would make sense since there's a meteor or a comet, I guess. And I don't know what causes the zombies. It might be a comet. So this could be like the,
So I don't know anything about the lore firsthand.
Same.
But
actually.
Watching the MatPat video on it, it's just the storm. The storm itself causes the zombies.
See, that's what I thought too, but some people thought that was ridiculous. You're talking about the storm from Battle Royale?
I think it presents itself differently. I think it's actually like a tornado or twister or something in the regular mode. And whatever gets spat out, it's undead.
Oh, okay. Well, I like my idea better. That anybody that gets caught in the storm of Battle Royale ends up turning into a zombie. Anyway, so the other popular theory that I've heard is that it's going to be destroying part of the map or something. And you think you mentioned Tilted Towers?
Yeah, so I wasn't really aware of it until I also saw stuff about the Fortnite comet, the articles. And yeah, like I hadn't seen anything about it unifying or, making, free to play?
Save the World?
The Save the World mode free.
I hadn't seen any... supposed to become free this year, though.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Okay. But that would make sense then if this big thing is also going to signify that. Okay.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen anything about that. I had seen instead, because apparently there's a lot of complaints about tilted towers and how quote unquote unbalanced it is. It's for a battle royale game where everybody gets to grab everything and anything. I feel like it's
That's
very
part
difficult.
of the experience.
Right, right.
There's a few areas in PUBG in both maps that are they're hotbeds where you're gonna see like 20 people land at a time.
Mm-hmm.
They're very dangerous. You're not likely to survive, and if you drop in a squad, then you're probably getting maybe one person from your squad survives. But
Okay.
that's part of it. Like I don't know. It's random chance. Other people can go for it. There's a lot of stuff there. That's why a lot of people drop for it, and not everyone's gonna make it out. That seems like that's supposed to be that way. I don't know what part of that seems imbalanced.
Right. It's like, I mean, it doesn't limit anybody to. It doesn't restrict anybody from getting to it.
Yeah.
Everybody's completely. It's accessible to everyone. But in any case, it's getting complaints, and so some people are saying it's gonna that thing's gonna change the map and destroy tilted towers and alter that area in some way.
Crazy.
But yeah.
That would be cool. Actually, so when they announced that Fortnite was getting Battle Royale, they mentioned PUBG, saying how cool it was, and they tried their own version of it, right? And that's what came out of it.
Yeah.
PUBG has since released a new map called Miramar, which is like in a desert area, and there's craters in that area.
Okay.
What if they're doing the same thing again, where they're taking part of their like design?
Their idea.
They like the crater, so they're gonna put it in the new map.
So what do we next? What do we do next, boss? We wait until we see what they're gonna do.
Yeah, pretty much. No, either way, I mean, if it changes the map, that's cool. If it opens up the other mode that's not free to play right now, that's even better. Because I want to learn all the building stuff in a situation where it's not do or die.
Okay.
Because that's in Save the World, you're building a fort to defend yourself every fortnight or something from zombies.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm looking forward to our new alien overlords or whatever the comment's bringing, I guess.
When I really started, not really started, because I still haven't even really started playing Fortnite, but now that I'm messing around a little bit with the building, it's kind of cool when you just think about it as just a mobility power, like that. Those aren't stairs. That is a small jump upward. That is a small super jump. And when you're the floorboards that you're putting forward, those aren't floorboards. That's you hovering. I started thinking of it like that. People can shoot
at you're hovering and then you fall and die.
Yeah, shut up.
Anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to see what comes out of it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next story. Square Enix has opened a new studio, Luminous Productions, and it's...
Say what?
Yeah. The director of Final Fantasy 15, Hajime Tabata, is the COO and head of the new studio, and they are going to be using the Luminous engine. I don't know if you remember, like 2 or 3 years ago, Square Enix did like a tech demo in their Luminous engine, and it was this old man summoning this big thing, and it didn't turn into anything like the project, but it looked amazing is I think the point I'm trying to make here, and that's what they're going to use for their next project. I think it's going to be a new IP is what they said.
Okay.
So
that's kind of nice. It's going to be if it just ends up being Final Fantasy under a different name, that's still even nicer, or that still even is also nice.
Yeah, Lost Odyssey was great.
Yeah, and essentially that's what it was. Because I feel like the name Final Fantasy is just going on too long. Like, I feel like half the things that have the Final Fantasy name attached to them don't need it attached to them.
14 started off really bad, and then they rebooted it as A Realm Reborn, and that was a nice celebration of what everything Final Fantasy was.
Uh-huh.
And now it's turned into an orgy where they start throwing in everything from past. There's a gold saucer.
Oh, geez.
There's, I think, cities from previous games in it. There's a bar called the Seventh Heaven. Like, it's just everything that you liked about Final Fantasy is now in 14.
Ready Player One's Final Fantasy.
Yeah, before Ready. Well, yeah. It's cool. It's enjoyable, but it's like this city should not exist in this world.
Right.
And it does for some reason. I think Evilus is in there now too.
Mm.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna hear about that again in probably like 5 years, considering their track record with big games, and then it'll come out 10 years from now. Elder Scrolls Online. Speaking of MMOs, Elder Scrolls Online has revealed their new expansion. It's called Somerset Isles, and that's where all the high elves live. They're not high; they're just called high elves.
I'm pretty sure they're high.
They think they are. I mean, they consider themselves better than everyone. I think is the general.
I think therefore
consensus.
I am.
Pretty much. Anyway, this is the first time you're going to be able to visit that area since the very first game in the series, Arena, and you will be able to craft jewelry, and there's going to be a new quest, a new area to explore, and you're going to get new skills. And that's coming June 6th. If you already have, I think, Morrowind... Actually, I don't even think you need Morrowind. If you have the base game Elder Scrolls Online, you can pay $30 to get this one. If you don't have it yet, $40 will get you the base game and this. But because of the way that they have their new update, well, not new, but they have an update called, I think, One Tamriel or something, is basically so that people could play with their friends no matter what level they were. So no matter where you go, your level is just right for that area. So if you're level 1, you can...
It basically scales you?
Yeah. Or maybe it scales everything else down. Either way, if you're level 1, you can jump into this new area right away, and there's going to be like a tutorial island and then like a starter zone for you. I've started a lot of new characters in Elder Scrolls Online. I've never really gotten into the end game, and now I kind of want to with this. You've never played any of these, have you?
No. I was surprised that this is still like
a thing.
A thing only because this never pops up in any blogs, in any news really, and that's like no news is good news, I guess. Like things are going fine, but it just never it doesn't come up much. Well, and I don't know anybody who plays it outside of I didn't even know you were into Elder Scrolls at all.
Well, Skyrim is awesome.
Oh, you know what? I'm an idiot. I totally knew you were into Elder Scrolls, but maybe not specifically ESO.
So at first this game came out, it was you buy it and then you pay the monthly subscription. Mm-hmm. Because World of Warcraft is still doing that, so everyone's trying to be the big dog. Shortly after, or maybe a few months, I don't know exactly, but they changed. So you buy the game once, you don't have to pay after that. If you want to, you'll get some extra bonuses. Like they give you free crowns, and that's like you can buy crowns with real money, basically. So as long as you're subscribing, they're just going to give you stuff to buy cosmetic things with it. Mm-hmm. So that's nice. It's not necessary. But you can get like cool mounts. I think you can get like a lightning horse or something.
A lightning horse?
Anyway, so I bought it once it went free to play to try it out. It's cool. It's just, because
Tell me more of the lightning horse.
You ride it and it goes fast.
It's all the things I want.
Right. Because of the way that Elder Scrolls games are, where you can play however you want. You can make a mage, but have him with a dual-bladed sword, or a thief with, I don't know, a bow and arrow or magic. It doesn't lend itself as well to playing in a group for a dungeon, because your damage dealer might be outside of the typical like stats for a damage dealer in another RPG. So I haven't gotten into any of the end game stuff, but I mean maybe I'll throw myself back into it to try it out.
Cool.
Yeah. You're probably gonna play these games though. There are 3 new indies coming. Well, not new, but new to the Switch this year. The first one's Hyper Light Drifter, Nidhogg 2, and Crashlands.
Hyper Light Drifter.
I do not want to play that game.
That game really was Dark Souls. Like, that game really puts together the top-down of Zelda with the same do it over and over and over and over and over again until you get it right.
That hard?
Mentality of Dark Souls. Yeah, I played that game. It is absolutely aesthetically beautiful. It is a pleasure for your ears the entire time. But yeah, there are some bosses where it's like, no, I swear to God, that guy was dead. Like, how am I? Or you're just damn sure that this next turn you're gonna survive. And like, all right, I've learned all his tricks. What else can he do? And he literally doesn't do anything different, and you still mess up and fall for it.
Yeah, I haven't heard the music, and maybe I need to. But looking at the game, like, the aesthetic is not for me. Like, I think it looks disgusting.
Okay.
But now that it's on Switch, like, I feel like now I can take that game anywhere, and if I really want to, I can just put it to sleep. Something about that, like, draws me in.
Okay. Yeah. Nidhogg 2 sounds pretty...
Yeah. I remember when that one was announced, and they showed off the new art style, and the people were like, angry about it. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah,
because it does. There's no ifs or buts about it. That new art style does look disgusting. It's pretty gross. It is. That is the very polar opposite to me of aesthetically pleasing. It seems aesthetically offensive, is how you would actually describe that, without actually like being a dick or like a bloody body.
Yeah.
and yeah, it does not look pretty. They're very cartoony and gnarly, I guess might be a good way to describe it.
That's a good way to describe them.
Not unprofessional and not bad, like not poorly done.
It looks gnarly, but well done.
Right. Yeah. It just definitely, where Nidhogg 1 had this Atari-like aesthetic to it, Nidhogg 2 has completely done away with that and has this very, like I said, gnarly, cartoony aesthetic now to it, where everything's roundish and things are bulbous.
It kind of looks like a Clay Fighters or something from Super Nintendo.
A little bit, yeah. I can see that. Some things kind of look a little pre-rendered.
Yeah.
But I don't think they are. I think it's all like art, like 2D art assets, but yeah. I think I know what you're trying to say with that. But yeah, the gameplay is still there. Not only the classic gameplay, but way more expanded.
Yeah, I think now you can like parry higher or lower attacks. You can check your weapons, and there's other new weapons you can use. I think so. The first game was just fencing, right? And I think this one has like smaller daggers and other.
There was.
Stuff.
Yeah. I think there is only the fencing swords, and basically the only options you had were up attack, low attack. You could throw your blade, and then you could also do like a jump kick, a diving kick.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Because you didn't have to kill your enemy, you just needed to disable them long enough to run past them and get through the other rooms. That was basically that was your arsenal. There is just whatever you could do with the fencing. You could also, if you were unarmed, you can. I don't know if you could punch them. I know you can choke them out though. You can you can snap their neck. Yeah.
Jesus.
And that was the option if you were unarmed.
Cool. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with Crashlands, so I'm probably gonna check that out.
That one I have no idea what it is.
It comes to the Switch. It is almost E3, and so as such, Nintendo has announced that they're having 2 tournaments, one for Splatoon 2 and one for Super Smash Bros., the new one. And I believe they're invitationals, so
damn it.
Top people. I'm just gonna randomly invite you to the tournament, or
I thought it was gonna be sign up. I thought it was going to be a tournament.
That's still kind of a tournament, anyway. So I think during the first 2 days of E3, I believe, is when they're going to be having these, and I think this is gonna be the first big look at.
I'm just imagining the guys at Nintendo like, all right, just open up the phone book. Turn to a random page in our worldwide phone book. And all right, cool. Ramon Ramirez of GameGO. He's totally gonna get send invite.
He's right down the street from LA. Like, oh, damn. Okay. No. Anyway, so yeah, I think this is gonna be the first big look that we're getting at the new Super Smash Brothers. I can imagine them announcing 2 new characters. Well, they already did the Inklings, so I don't know. They might announce another character or 2, and then that could be in the tournament. Mm-hmm. But until then, I'm excited to see what else they're going to be adding to Super Smash Brothers.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Star Wars Battlefront 2, that game with all the microtransactions, has been getting, it got an overhaul on progression. And
surprise.
If you heard about this game last year, it's probably because people were angry about the microtransactions, which is, paying money for something in the game. And I don't want to say it was unjustified, because I think they did the math, and you would have had to play the game for 60 hours to unlock Luke or Darth Vader, because they wanted you to feel pride and accomplishment or something.
Yeah, they said they wanted to make it feel like it was just an actual task,
which is cool. But 60 hours, goddamn, dude.
That is, yeah, that's a kind of a
60
lot.
hours in the game, I would want to have 6 to 10 characters by then, not one.
Not just the one.
Yeah, and that's if you want just the
that's
big
more than
one.
the standard, typically a 40-hour game. is what you're gonna get when you pay for a $60 AAA.
Yeah.
Is you're gonna get 40 hours worth. And that's like when you get a really good ratio.
Yeah, I mean that like an RPG.
Yeah.
I don't think Last of Us was 40
No,
hours.
definitely not. That may have been like 15 to 18.
Yeah.
And yeah, a game asking you to play it for 60 hours for a portion at that point. If you're at 60 hours, yeah, like you're saying, maybe you should be at the end of your collectible run.
Or at least those big ones.
Only having one, that is a lot of that's more than a work week.
Yeah, you know what the shitty thing is? You don't get to pick what side you're on, I think, when you're playing Battlefront.
Right?
And I don't know if buying Luke also unlocks Vader, like the equivalent.
On the other side, or if you have to actually put 120 hours to get both. I get you.
Yeah, so you half the time would not be able to pick a character. Anyway, we're talking about the game because they've overhauled all their progression. All the heroes and special vehicles have been unlocked, so now you don't have to grind 60 hours to play as Darth Vader.
Man, we were going to go into a lot of that just to have it negated by these facts.
Yes. No, I just wanted to bring you... Well, now people know how terrible it was. So now loot crates can only be earned through time challenges or in-game milestones. Like get 100 headshots or something like that. You can't buy those with real money anymore.
Nice.
And I think even through credits. I think now the only thing you use credits or real money for are cosmetic stuff.
Which is exactly
awesome. What it should be. And I don't think it's loot boxes here. I think this is like, you want that emote?
Then you buy that emote.
$1 or $2, you get it. Like,
okay, cool. They removed the gambling part of it. They removed the surprise adrenaline rush part of it.
Yes. Now, though, leveling up will grant you skill points. Those skill points you can buy star cards, I think, as what you want. And I think it's made so that if you like playing the engineer that blows up stuff, you can put all of your points into that, and then...
Oh, man, it's
like a video game.
I know, right?
Whoa!
Look at that. It's amazing what happens when you stop trying to fill your effing wallet.
Yeah.
You come out with a good game.
EA can make video games.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I don't know if you guys knew that. I know it's been a while.
Right? Okay. Anyway, there's actually another story.
Wait. Honestly, though, what is the last amazing EA game that you were like, I don't care what people say about EA. I want this game.
Off the top of my head, Dead Space 1. Maybe 2. I didn't play that one, but I heard that one's like really good, and I know third one is when they started adding microtransactions to the series.
Yeah.
And that it lost a lot of its horror vibe to it.
Yeah, me and a friend, when we were playing through Dead Space 3, I was talking to them about how Dead Space was very much is Resident Evil in a sci-fi setting. And I mean that literally down to both the type of horror they do and the gameplay itself. You take out people by shooting specific targets on them, and then you stomp their bodies to make sure they're dead.
Oh, and then even in Resident Evil, I was going to say Final Fantasy, Resident Evil 5, they even have tentacles coming off of them.
And instead of just the head being the weakness, now those things are weaknesses.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, they are parallels. That is, Dead Space is EA's Resident Evil. And I saw it doing the same thing with its genre in it. The first one was the most horror. The second one started introducing most action. The third one is barely a horror game anymore and is just a co-op action game.
Yeah, okay. All right, so anyway, as I was saying before you interjected, this isn't the only game in the last week to do this. Shadow of War, the Lord of the Rings game, no, Middle Earth game, I should say, has also removed or decided to remove all their microtransactions. In this game, you were able to buy loot chests to get orcs or, I think, weapons. No, I want to say mostly just orcs. Mm-hmm. And they would defend your forts for you, which by the fourth act, I think, of the game, you would need to defend them to basically grind to the end of the story, which people were not happy about because they said again and again, the game has been tailored to the experience as if you're not going to buy anything. And when that fourth act came around and people had to start grinding for hours and hours just to get to the end of the actual story, like, it was basically they were lying to people so they would buy the game. But Shadow of War, they said that the ability, you're not going to be able to buy chests anymore. They said the ability to purchase them undermines the heart of their nemesis system, which is where you kind of create these rivalries. If you're fighting an orc and it kills you, it gets promoted. Or if you're fighting it and it runs away, it might have an injury from that fight the next time you face him, and he'll say something like, "Oh, you're not going to get me this time," or something like that. So July 17th is when they're going to remove all the gold, the war chests, and the market. And they're also going to update that fourth act, Shadow Wars. It's going to have new narrative elements in it. And I'm assuming that's kind of going to help remove the grind and make it seem more like actual gameplay instead of just do this until we're happy with the money you gave us. It's more good news. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, treating these games more like, games, a lot nicer. It's too bad it took them several months after their release, but because I'm not going to go back to play Shadow of War just because of this.
I mean, it is a good game, I think.
It's going to be a better experience for me now, but I still never had any intent on playing it. Hopefully, going forward, this is going to be their standard. They're going to have more of this kind of mentality.
I don't like the way they said it undermines the heart of the Nemesis system, because that's something that they probably knew immediately and then waited 6 months to do anything about it.
Yeah, you can only say something like that when you're aware that it's doing it anyway.
Yeah. I will say, though, that I understand why games add microtransactions, because, I mean, they're now 100, if not 1,000 people projects working overtime for weeks on end to get done.
Yeah.
I know that the cost of making them is going up, and that the if you just kept them at 60 and that's it, like, not all the money's going to be made back, but there are better ways to do microtransactions.
There are also, I mean, I don't know how valid this still is, but I know that back during my time when I was testing, I used to be really upset about how many people I just had absolutely no idea who they were or why they were in the credits of some of the games, because sometimes they just have like a nice cushier job at a publisher and they didn't really have anything to do with the making of the game. They just happen to work at Activision and they are going to somehow be getting a cut of that game, even though they weren't
directly related to
anything. And it's really upsetting that those people in the nice offices are up at the front of the credits instead of developers, testers, people who are like, literally going there, like you're saying. During my time at Activision, when I was on Tony Hawk's American Wasteland, I was testing for that. And I was watching an interview because they were trying to get some press out for the game.
Yeah.
Executive producer, she was talking about the game. I'm like, I bet you she's barely even touched it. And that was just kind of like my really snarky, like,
first
thing
impression.
about it. But then another one of my QA lead, my lead right there, he's like, she has emailed me where there's days that she has had 3-day stints with no sleep, dude. Like, she has been working really hard.
Just putting in hours.
I think she was the producer at Neversoft. And
okay. Well,
I felt like an ass immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like somebody else from Activision who was, getting a nice night of rest. Instead, he's in the credits before she ever gets mentioned there. And
making way more.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of people working on him. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. Sea of Thieves is in the news. Have you seen anything about it?
Nothing new. The last thing I heard was, as it was coming out, is everybody giving it that similar criticism that No Man's Sky was getting. Oh, it's an empty game. It's just promises. Why is it $60?
I will say that this game is definitely a ticket for a long haul.
Mm-hmm.
The game that I've played so far is a lot of fun. It's very like zen when you're playing by yourself and you're just kind of sailing the open seas. Although other players can come and ruin your day. But so far, I mean, I got the $10 Game Pass so that I can just play this. It's basically Netflix for Xbox's games.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, I'm enjoying it a lot. And I reviewed it for backlogcritic.com. I think I'm giving it like a 7.5 or something, or an 8. Because eventually you do start like running out of stuff to do that is completely different. and it does become kind of a bit of a grind. But when you're playing with like 4 friends and you're all in the sails and somebody comes up and you're just blasting them with cannons and you sink them, it's like you can't beat that feeling. The game is a lot of fun. It is repetitive.
I killed my friend.
No, you and your friend killed somebody.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's no fun.
Anyway, so I'm talking about it today because the goal of the game is a very large overarching one, is to level all 3 factions in the game to level 50. There's the Order of Souls, which has you killing skeletons. There's the Merchant the Merchant Guild, which is go and get chickens off an island or something and bring them to me. And then there's the Gold Hoarders, which is straight up like, oh, here's a map, go to the X, dig up the treasure. It's a lot of fun. You have to get all those to 50. It takes a while. This streamer, Prodigy X, is the first one to do it. He became the first pirate legend. People are mad because by the end of his stream, I don't know if this was all he did. He says that he only started doing this. He started boosting, as it's called, near the end of his journey to 50s. Either way, what he did was near the end was he would jump into a crew that was waiting with their missions all ready to turn in, invite him in, turn him in. He would leave and find another group ready to turn in.
Oh.
Essentially, he was getting all the reward with none of the work. People are saying, well, that's what a pirate does. Other people are saying there's a code of rules in the game. Like, the first thing you see in the game every time you start, like, you're heading out the tavern, on the side is the pirate's code of conduct.
Okay.
Saying, I will not be dishonest or, anyway. It's not strictly against the rules, but it is still, like, completely unfair what he did. He had the community to help him, though, and I don't know, like, at first I was mad about it. I was like, this is bullshit. Like, and I knew I wasn't going to be the first one, but somebody who actually worked the entire way should have been. And now I'm, like, thinking more about it, and it's like, these people wanted to help him, but then again, like, helping him was inviting him in, turning in the stuff, and then he was out the door. He's not going to remember all the people that did that for him, and it's a weird story, like I said, because I don't know exactly how to feel about it. But yeah, what do you think about this?
So, I mean, this is absolutely not on the players, and this absolutely should be encouraged and nothing else. It's a pirate game, and pirates were all about, they had a code, but part of being a pirate was also whether or not you were going to follow it to begin with. This is very much just like he found an exploit, and like any other pirate out there working their ass off, sweating themselves to the almost literal bone to live and make money. If they find an easy way to do something, they're going to do it. Yeah. So I feel like if any other game you had managed to find a way where you didn't have to do the mission, but you just turn it in, like you found a exploit or a
shortcut.
Shortcut. You're breaking sequence, whatever. Doing pro strats for like fast running kind of things, for speed running kind of things. That seems like that's all this kind of is. It's on a mass, not scale.
An online scale.
Yeah, but it's still, this is absolutely on the devs. There should definitely be something that says if you weren't there from, like, to contribute to any part of these, hey, collect 5 chickens. Did this guy collect any of them? Was he here when it happened? Yeah. Okay, then no. Then he shouldn't get any portion of that. If he shows up in the middle of it and they had already collected 2, then the most he should be able to get from the group is 3, and then he has to get 2 on his own or something. That's what I was
thinking too. But
I could imagine it contributing to whatever he had at the moment, like presently, but it doesn't make sense, and it is, as my opinion, this is entirely a misstep on the devs to not have some way to have him not get that same credit. Because this is just leaving in the mechanic of boosting. If it's just you and me and we do this, it's still also boosting. Like, it doesn't make it any worse or better because he's on Twitch. It's just, he's just using an exploit. Like, literally anyone effing else will. And now that people know this is there, everyone will. And it will now get a patch.
The problem is, though, he got that help because he's a streamer, not because it's something that's easily exploited.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're saying, it's an exploit, but if somebody was the first one to beat a raid in Destiny using an exploit, they wouldn't count that time.
Okay. I don't know that that's true or not. Because then following, whether or not it's the first time, like any speed run, it's still going to count. As long as I guess it's supposed to be an any % speed run, it is going to count. They're not cheating. It's all in game. I want to say
that the people that beat the newest raid in Destiny didn't get credit for it because they used an exploit.
Okay.
And then he's the first.
I don't know.
And you can't undo that work unless they're going to artificially lower his levels. So, I mean, I don't know how you would have him do it again legitimately. Especially now that somebody, I think his name is Sniper Name G, legitimately got to 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is a messy story.
I don't know. I don't see anything really wrong with what he did. And if anything, it just shows like, hey, patch your game real quick and make sure that they're actually there to complete these missions.
Yeah.
I feel like that's really the bigger, or the reason. You fix that and this story would never have happened.
Yes. All right. Actually, yeah, if you guys have an opinion about this, you want to let us know what you think, please email us at gamegopodcast@gmail.com.
Let Sano know how wrong he is.
Or right, whatever. Either way works. All right. Speaking of, okay, anyway. Yeah, so this game, there's not a ton of content. Hoping they add more, and it looks like they are going to. So in that way, it does seem kind of like No Man's Sky, but at least this way you can play with friends instead of being told that you can find your friends and then not actually being able to see them, even though you're on the same planet in the same place. No Man's Sky, Sean Murray. Anyway, yeah, games as services. Overwatch has a new event coming up again, as you guys probably know or are looking forward to. Last year, it was an anniversary event called Uprising, and it told the story of Tracer's first mission against Null Sector with all the evil robots. This year, they're renaming it to Overwatch Archives, and this time it's going to be called Retribution. So now it looks like every year they're going to revisit something from the past of Overwatch with new skins and a story to be told.
That's cool.
I am looking forward to the day they do something with when Reaper and Soldier 76 had that little falling out and destroyed everything, and you know.
Okay.
But yeah, this one's called Retribution, and I want to see what it's about. So they're probably going to be adding, I think they said they're going to be adding over 100 cosmetics. So like skins, emotes,
I'm assuming
highlight
sprays
intros,
too.
Sprays. Yeah, if you're still playing this, you know, it's something to look forward to. I know Sim has been playing Overwatch, and she wants to get some event skins, like with the Beekeeper May.
Mm-hmm.
You can only buy it during this event.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
She's got to get on it.
Yeah, it'll be cheaper than it was last year, so hopefully it's more manageable. But yeah, those are all the big news stories that we wanted to talk about today.
Awesome.
If you guys want to hear us talk about something specific over the next week, please email us at gamegopodcast@gmail.com. What have you been playing? Hate had to go. There's an old man here.
Hello.
Yeah. He wants to talk about what he's been playing this week.
I did some Advance Wars, Black Hole Rising, turn-based strategy game there.
Hey, so the old man is dead, and Hate's back. What have you been playing, Hate?
So me and that old dead man have been playing Advance Wars Black Hole Rising. It's not a bad game. Not a bad game at all. I'm bad at it.
What's on it? What's it on, I mean?
What?
What did it come out
That's guacamole.
on the side.
It came out on Game Boy Advance. That was the second game that came out on Game Boy Advance after Advance Wars.
All right.
I thought Advance Wars was the first one. You educated me differently.
You got schooled.
There, in fact, was a Famicom Wars and a Super Famicom Wars. Advance Wars followed that by changing the title. I don't know why the next one didn't.
That's the first one in America, too, Advance Wars.
It is. That makes sense. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I was playing through the game. I've played Fire Emblem, and I've played other Advance Wars games. Fire Emblem I'm a lot better at than these games, because these games, when your enemy takes or when your units take damage, they also lose
attack power.
Attack power, yeah. There isn't really defense. It's just things are stronger against other things or weaker against other things. But yeah, that really screws me over when you can't level up your individual units or you can't.
Could they gain veteran status in this one?
In this one, I don't think so. I know there was one where after taking out so many units, they get a rank up, right?
They can do that twice, and then they'll be like stronger.
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing in this one, and that really sucks.
Well, it's weird too because in this game, units are disposable. They're not named. Like there's no like hero character.
Right.
Like Fire Emblem, all your characters are hero characters, but it's harder to deal with losing characters in this one anyway because it's like chess where you're losing all your pawns.
Yeah,
you're still at a huge disadvantage.
Right. You don't like. Yeah. I mean, it's just so hard to say, especially because of just that big difference where the units themselves aren't individual leveling units, and it makes it even harder for me. There are several maps where you're not given the units you got to work with. You are given warehouses to deploy the units,
like
and every time I see that, I just have this horrible feeling in the pit of my stomach. It's like, no,
He's bad.
Not only am I going to lose this match, but it's going to take a long time. I'm going to think at one point I did things right and everything will just go to awful garbage at one point. And sure enough, like most of the maps that do involve determining what units yourself want to use, I'm not good at those. I like them when they're already set up.
Yeah.
They just give me the units I'm supposed to use, and that way I can very easily base how good or poorly I'm doing. Yeah, go ahead.
I will say, though, that the thing I like about this one, as you're going through the story in Fire Emblem, if you're only using like 3 or 4 characters, you're going to be screwed by the end of the story because you need to be leveling your characters kind of like, evenly.
Right.
And so if you have those 4 and 2 of them are gone for story reasons, you're going to get wiped out.
Yeah.
In this game, because you cannot level your characters, every mission is beatable with what you have. Even if you don't know exactly what you need to build.
Okay, yeah, that's actually also a very, very important, fair point to be aware of. You can't neglect anybody in this one only because they literally cannot be neglected. They don't need to be raised. I guess you can empty out their supply because that's a thing for these guys. They can drain their bullets or gas if they're vehicles. So you'll have to either have them at a base, or there's also a unit that can refresh them on the go called an APC. It is, Advance Wars has always been a solid tactical game. I don't know how much to compare it to other games or how well to compare it to other games. FE, it's almost a twin with the twist that all of the characters, all the units are heroes. Then I played some Disgaea, and that game is just way out of left field. I don't know that you can really compare that to other RTSs. There's XCOM and Rabbids, the Mario and Rabbids.
Oh yeah, Kingdom Battle.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Those games aren't.
They're similar, but
I think
XCOM
is closer to Advance Wars in that they're not all hero characters. They're generic. They're all soldiers. They're all individual units, but they're generic. You name them, you customize the way they look, and they're dispensable.
No, you level them up.
Yeah. No, I know you level them up. Sorry, that's
Yeah.
But they're not like if one of them dies, it doesn't change the outcome of the story. He was just another soldier.
But the loading screen even says you should have a Bravo squad in case something horrible happens to your main characters. You should have a backup. Don't just level one group.
So I guess it's a good mix of both in between.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah. Also, me and the old man who played Devil's Third. That game was amazing. You start out in a prison.
All right. So Devil's Third is a bad game on the Wii U? Or
on the Wii U. This
U.
game had a long, storied history of development. It was in development for a lot longer than it should have been. The sad thing is that no one was really super hey, okay, well, it's not. I guess we're just gonna miss out on Devil's Third. Nintendo, for some reason, like, nay, the world must see this game
On the Wii U.
on the
Which
Wii
is
U,
already a failure.
like
Of
from
a
the
console.
get-go. Yeah. So I don't know what it was that Nintendo saw in this game particularly, but they decided themselves to raise it from the grave it was about to like head into. And they ended up taking it over. They finished the development of it, and I don't know why. I don't understand why. Because it's not. It's the most B game I've ever seen. Like it just.
Even the B movie game, the game based on the movie.
You know what? This may be the second most B game I've ever seen.
All right.
It just, when you're looking at it, it's like, okay, cool. Everything doesn't look like absolute garbage. You know, graphics look decent and things are functional.
Yeah.
But then also it's just like there's not a whole lot of thought put into it. Here's a couple of guys. Now you got a gun.
Okay.
The plot, if
Thickens.
it is a thing, is kind of, you start out and you're a prisoner, but your cell is down at the end of this really long hallway, all private. Like,
Oh, don't
you
open
have
that cell.
you
don't...
start out. The first scene of the game is like panning towards the door, and you just hear, like, at first drums, but like through a door, you know, through another room, like.
Okay.
And then as it's getting closer, we cut inside, and your guy, the prisoner, has like a multi-million-dollar sound setup there. These drums are the nicest drums I've ever seen, and he's just sitting there fucking going crazy on these drums. He's actually a decent drummer.
Wait, was Suda51 involved in this game?
I don't know. That is like important.
That sounds like
now
would...
that you said it, it's an important thing to want to know. So then he's in the middle of this, and they cut him off. Like his sound stops, which is stupid because he's playing drums. And
these drums don't work anymore.
Somebody turned down the volume. And then, so, like, they interrupt him with this massive... The wall is, like, 2 stories tall and, like, 40 feet wide.
It's a big screen?
It's a projector.
Oh, wow.
And they're like, I don't know who he is, but he looks like he works for the army. Like, he looks like he runs the army and isn't the president.
Oh, okay.
Because that's how it works, right? Yeah. So...
I mean, technically, the president's commander-in-chief.
Yes. Well, this guy with a bunch of crap and badges and militariness, he goes and he tells you, "Hey, we need someone with your skills. We're gonna pull you back out of prison because we need you to like grab or we need your help on this particular mission."
And he says, "I said I'd never drum for the government again."
So he's doing it for a guitar.
Not even for a nicer drum set or something.
That military guy, like he's like, I know we have something that you're gonna want, and they show him this fairly nice looking acoustic guitar.
Sick ass Gitbox.
Yeah. Oh, the sick ass Gitbox 5000.
He like pulls the bullets out and like is examining it. And... Snake, my eyes are up here.
Yeah, but yeah, like
that's so stupid.
It's just all out. At first, I thought it was gonna be like the good kind of bad. The plot is just bad. Like after I saw that, it's like this is making me laugh in very bad ways. Like you'll get some laughs out of it. Then the whole place is blowing up for no reason. I don't know what the reason is. Like after you are opened and they tell you, okay, go ahead, you're free. Oh, now the prison is exploding like in a self-destruct thing, and you need to escape the prison.
You were
now.
the only prisoner. They don't need it now since you're out.
It's just that would be true if you didn't fight 80 other prisoners. Also, bats.
Like baseball bats or like animal bats?
A bunch of bats.
Okay.
You go through the quote unquote the sewer system at sometimes.
If you're free to go, just go out the front door. Why would you make this like Shawshank Redemption? It's like you break out of prison, like, no, these are my papers. It's like, well, then why'd you come out the shitter? Like,
I think I do want to finish that game.
Oh man, So you're saying that's not great, and I'm wondering why they made it after its development hell, because best case scenario, they were gonna... If everyone on the Wii U bought 2 copies of this game, then maybe they'd make money off it.
Right? What was the point of even saving this thing? If it's struggling at all, you're not going to be the ones to save it. Like, the Switch doesn't exist yet. There's no real big interest in your console right now.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, Devil's Third, if you are into those kind of like, this is so bad it's good kind of things, then you might like it. Because it was really, really just cheese all around. Omelette du fromage everywhere.
Stuffed crust. Devil's Third.
There you go.
All right.
Also did Gunvolt Burst. That game was really cool. Or not was, but is really cool. I got the one on the Switch that has, it's called the Gunvolt Striker Volty Gun Pack.
Doesn't it have another character in it from another game?
No, not this one.
Okay.
That's, I think I know what you're talking about.
I'm thinking of Mighty Gunvolt Burst.
Yeah, and that one had Mighty Number 9 in it too. But yeah, my Gunvolt Burst on the Switch, this one combines the first 2 games and puts it in a compilation kind of thing. If you liked them before, it comes on a nice convenient, 2-pack now, and it's
cool.
Pretty damn nice. It's been out long enough that I think you guys know that that's pretty much like an 8 to 9 out of 10 Gunvolt Burst. It's a pretty good game.
Yeah.
Oh man, I just realized I missed that. I played A Way Out.
You did.
Oh my god, have you played it yet?
Not yet. I'm waiting.
Oh my god,
I'm gonna be playing it with a stranger.
Are you?
Yeah. I'm in a group, a fan group for another podcast.
Okay.
And somebody put on there like, "Hey, has anyone played this yet? Because I'm gonna get it from GameFly.
Okay.
Who wants to play it with me?" I'm like, "I'm down." I was like the first one, so they're like, "Okay, yeah, I'll let you know. I'll add you, and I'll let you know when I get it in the mail."
Ah.
So this is gonna be like, the characters don't know each other, right?
Yeah.
So this is gonna be perfect.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn cool. Yeah. I won't talk about it. Maybe we'll talk about it when you guys do it.
Yes.
But yeah, A Way Out. Anybody listening, if you have anybody to play that with, if you have somebody you even casually just sometimes play those games with, you should definitely hook up and do that.
Real quick. It's about 2 guys breaking out of prison, but the gameplay it's a split screen game. Even if you're playing online, you have to play split screen so that you are always aware of what the other person's doing, because that comes in handy sometimes.
On I think the Resident Evil 5 and 6, their split screen, the way they do it with the screen up top and screen on bottom,
yeah,
very similar to that. But imagine if those portions moved around.
Like I think 24 does that, where it shows you like, these are what the characters are doing. Let's move this box over so we can focus on this one.
You can see what multiple people are doing at the same time on those scenes. This game is that the whole way through. Just one thing I was surprised is how very little anything that the other player does actually bothers you while you're playing. It
seems like you're just playing a co-op game. Like Resident Evil 5, you can focus on your thing, and that other screen is there to let you know if your partner needs help or something. Or like, here's a puzzle, although then they start screaming your name anyway, so. But yeah, I can't imagine that, like, it would be too much of an intrusion.
So normally, like in Resident Evil, you can't find a lot of moments where you have to interact with or talk to other people.
Yeah.
And like have a full on conversation. In this game, yeah, that's the difference. Okay. Is that sometimes you're gathering info, or sometimes the other player's screen is making sound for whatever reason, and it's just crazy that like. It never, no matter what I was doing, I never bothered my buddy to Millionaires who I was playing with. You guys should check him out, Twitter, Twitch, everywhere. But I was playing with him, and just we would get to a point. It would show a cutscene, and it's like, okay, now investigate the area to figure out what you're to do next. So we both go on our separate ways, and I swear to God, it felt like we both left the room. Like, we weren't even talking to each other for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Just we both investigated our own separate bits.
Yeah.
And even though we had communication the whole time, we still ended up waiting till we both got back together to end up talking about whatever we went through. And like I said, nothing that he was doing ever interrupted what I did. So if he had a conversation, I could still have another conversation here. And while I'm not going to track both, I could still, no problem, track mine. I mean,
yeah,
that's what I meant when
really
I said that. Yeah.
Okay.
And
cool.
It does really cool things with the whole fact that you're splitting the screen and the way they're going to be moving it, because they will move it to match the dramatic moments in the game. Yeah. You're gonna be treated to some really cool stuff.
Sweet. I am looking forward to that. I played more Sea of Thieves I think I talked about it last time. Pirate forts. So when you're sailing around, there's occasionally a big skull cloud on the horizon. Mm-hmm. Underneath it, like directly below it, is a fort that is occupied with skeletons, pirate skeletons. If you go there, you take out like maybe 12 waves of them. The 12th wave will have a captain, and if you kill him, he has a key. And you can use the key to open up the fort, like the treasury. Mm-hmm. And there is a lot of treasure in there. So if you see that cloud, it's likely that every other player on the server is coming for it.
Oh, okay.
So that shit gets really messy really fast.
So you guys are cooperating only so much.
No.
People kill you right away?
Shooting, yeah. Because the skeletons are not hard, they're just time consuming.
Okay.
So one player is like constantly like, okay, no one's coming. Okay, we're still good. And you turn around, there's like 2 galleons on the way, and you're like, we need to move right now. I tried it by myself. I ran into these kids. Quote, I'm not a squeaker, I'm 13. And I even said, like, okay, but still. I told them I was going to help them. I'm like, truce. Like,
did you call him a squeaker? Why did he say this?
No, he was just defending his voice, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I literally did nothing about it, and then he said that, and I was like, all right, whatever you say, kid. So then they're like, this guy's going to help us out. Like, da-da-da. So then 2 galleons show up, shooting each other. One gets sunk. Then they go after the kids' ship. They have a galleon. I have a sloop. It's a smaller ship for one to 2 players. They sink the kids' ship, and the kids are like, "Oh, we need your boat." I'm like, "All right, just whatever." I'm like busy fighting skeletons. I get killed at some point, and my ship's gone. Mm-hmm. If your ship's gone, you respawn with your ship at a nearby island. Okay. So it's like I don't know what the kids did, but they sank and they died. So I go back to the island and I'm fighting these guys, and the whole time I'm like in chat, I'm like, hey, like I'm not trying to fight you, like if we work together, we can get this treasure done faster, split it, I'll take like a little bit. And they just keep coming after me. At one point I parked my ship. There's 2 ladders, there's a ladder on each side. There was a rock on one side. Mm-hmm. So there was only one ladder they could come up through if they wanted to attack me. Okay. So I grabbed my shotgun. And then just as they're coming up, boom, they get up on deck, fall, and then their ghost rises. Boom, again, boom, 3 times in a row.
You see their ghost rise?
Their spirit like fades. So they just keep attacking me, and at one point, like I grab a gunpowder barrel, I swim under their ship, let it go, and as soon as it touches the ship, it just explodes. So like if you hit somebody with a cannon, there's a hole in the side of their ship. They need to go down and fix it. Okay. If you hit them with gunpowder, all the holes open up. Oh. So they need to get down and start fixing it. I jump on the ship and shotgun the guys trying to fix it. Their ship sinks. Uh-huh. So then I go back to doing the thing. They come back, and I'm like, this isn't even worth it. Like, they're just going to keep fighting over and over again, and I'm already tired of this. Yeah. So, like, I end up ducking out. Last night or the night before, though, my friend and I, just 2 of us, we get on. There's a skull fort very close by. We just go to it. We're struggling for a bit. We end up getting it, and no one bothers us, and we end up walking away with, like, 15,000 gold.
Okay, so they're very crazy. Hit or miss.
Yeah, it's fun. It's
cool.
Good. It's still fun. It's still good. And the cool thing is, each faction has 2 items in your tool set that they can make look nice. They have their own version of it. Mm-hmm. So the gold hoarders have their own shovel, which is like gold plated, and that's nice. It's whatever. It doesn't do anything different. It just looks cosmetically different. But the Order of Souls, the one that you hunt the pirate skulls for, they upgrade your tankard, your cup of grog, and your lantern. And theirs are the only ones that I care about because the grog starts glowing when you're drinking out of it. Like it's not normal. It's like looks like otherworldly. Okay. And the lantern, instead of just a normal yellow light that every lantern has, it's like white light. Okay. It looks really cool. So they're my favorite. Anyway, so yeah, the game is it's just crazy fun. We fought the Kraken a few times. The thing is scary.
I didn't know there was one.
It's just tentacles right now, which kind of sucks, but I think they added it later in the development cycle. It sucks up one of your teammates, and they're like struggling to hold the mouth open while you're trying to kill the tentacle. It's terrifying. It happened to my friend, and he's been kind of traumatized ever since. He's always worried about the Kraken, and I'm like, dude, like it's not a big deal. And
how big in comparison to the player is it?
The tentacle is a little wider around than a player is tall.
Because
the mouth is big enough to eat your person.
Yeah.
But then that's all you see is like 8 tentacles, and then it can wrap around part of the ship. Sometimes it's scary, but
that's pretty nuts.
Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna add more to it later. It's just, I think it's something that like corporate was like, that looks cool, and they're like, it's not done yet, and they're like, put it in anyway.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no, the game is cool so far. Right now, it is enough that I feel like the $10 Game Pass is enough for it right now. I don't know. If I paid $60 for it, I would eventually be happy with it. But right away, I think I'd be like, this was kind of a bit much for the game. But with all the content that I know they want to add, and hopefully will, then I know that it's going to eventually be worth more than the price they're asking for it. It's just a matter of time. Yeah. I also played Minit. M-I-N-I-T. Minit.
Yeah, this is Tamagotchi meets Zelda, right?
Pretty much. So the game starts off when you're like this little, like, you look like a round duck face. Tamagotchi with little legs. And you start off in a house with a dog. And you go outside your house. There's not really much for you to explore. Anything that is... There's a river on one side. There's grass on, I think, another side. The third side is blocked off the next screen over by grass. And it's kind of like Zelda where there are screens. And then the other... If you go down to the beach... There's enemies and there's more grass. But if you keep exploring, you'll find a sword on the beach, which is a lot like The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. I don't know if anyone here listening has played that, but that's like my first video game ever. So that's pretty cool. The moment you pick up the sword, a timer starts of 60 seconds. And it turns out the sword's the sword is cursed.
It's corked.
The sword is cursed. The sword is cursed, so... You only have 60 seconds of life while you're holding it. And actually, no, from that point forward, because you can pick up other items and switch them out, and it still has 60 seconds. But now it's like Majora's Mask, where you are reliving 60 seconds. You go back to your home, you die, you respawn, you keep looking around for another 60 seconds for the next step in your journey. Some things will reset, like grass will grow back or trees. Other items won't, like if you smash open a cave wall or something, that's going to be open forever. But yeah, this game is a lot of fun. I beat it already, and like it took me, I think 70. It keeps track of how many runs you made, which is how many lives. I think it was in the 70s neighborhood. It's cool, and it opened up something called Second Run, and you pick up a broken sword instead, and you have 1 heart instead of 2. I don't know what other changes they're making to you playing the game again, but I'm looking forward to it because it's so far. I mean, I think it's all black and white anyway, so it has already that Game Boy aesthetic. If it was a little greener, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
Like the old Game Boy screen.
Give that green tint to it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's cool. I will say that I did get it for free, so I'm not sure how much it is, but I don't think it's more than like 20, and if it's less than that, then it's definitely worth it. At 20, I would hesitate a little bit just because, like I said, I beat it in a little over an hour. But it is a very fun and cool experience. There's a lot of stuff that you don't need to do, but it's like this cool, like it's kind of like Zelda where it's just some stuff that doesn't directly relate to the main quest, and you just meet or find all these interesting little, I want to say Easter eggs. I mean, I got an achievement for changing the radio to a song that this little NPC liked.
Okay.
Like it was just like a random thing, and he didn't give me anything, but he was happy about it. I was like, all right, that's nice.
Cool.
But yeah, it's a fun little game.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we played all these great games, but there are a couple of games coming out this week that most people haven't played, unless you're reviewing them early. So starting tomorrow, the games coming out are, for Wednesday, April 4th, Raiders of the Broken Planet, Hades Betrayal, coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Danganronpa, PS4 and Xbox One. And Metropolis Lux Obscura for PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Thursday has a lot of Switch titles, but first there's some PS4 stuff. Impact Winter for PS4, The King of Fighters 97 Global Match for PS4 and PC, which I think is just the that original game remade.
Okay.
Bunny Must Die, Chelsea and the Seven Devils. That's one title.
This
for
is
PS4.
the only game so far that has caught my attention.
For PS4. Flight of Light for PS4. Raining Coins for PS4. And the rest of these are for Switch. Sally's Law, Urban Trial Playground, ACA Neo Geo Samurai Showdown 3, Johnny Turbo's Arcade Bad Dudes, Infernium, Super Rocket Shootout, Animated Jigsaw's Beautiful Japanese Scenery, Arcade Archives Ninja Kid. That's one title.
Ninja Kid.
Octocopter Double or Squids, which doesn't sound like an actual pun. I don't know why they did that. And Sumer, Sumer, for Switch.
Almost summer, but not.
Yes. Actually, it's almost summer here, too. It's spring, but it feels like summer already.
Mm-hmm.
Friday, April 6th, we got 3 titles. Enigmatis 3, The Shadow of Carcala for PS4 and Xbox One. Rememoried for PS4. And Dead Ahead Zombie Warfare for Xbox One. I don't know why any game would include the word warfare in the title after all those Call of Duty games.
Yeah, nah, they don't own it yet.
I know they don't, but it's like I don't want to play this just because it has the word
warfare. It has the name warfare.
Yeah. All right. Monday, April 9th, we got The Bunker coming to Nintendo Switch. Tuesday, April 10th, we got Extinction coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Masters of Anima, not anime. PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Owlboy coming to PS4 and Xbox One. Regala of Mice and Monarchs Royal Edition coming to PS4. Super Daryl Deluxe coming to PS4.
Super Daryl!
Coming to PS4 and PC. And Starlit Adventures coming to PS4.
I hate... What does the word deluxe even mean?
The luxury, I think, something like that.
Is that
it's a French word, I think. I don't know exactly.
It just... Those are the things that I hate.
Super Daryl Deluxe. I mean, maybe there's a regular Super Daryl game somewhere.
Either DX or Deluxe. I hate that addition to the end of.
That was okay. Anyway, that's gonna do it for us this week. Thank you guys for listening to the GameGO podcast, where we talk about video games and whatever the hell else we want. I'm Sonorith.
This is H8BitHero.
And we enjoy talking about video games and stuff.
No, we don't. I hate it.
I love it.
Last time I did
I'll marry it.
Punched a baby.
Oh my god. Anyway, if you guys want to hear us talk about a specific story, please email us at gamegopodcast@gmail.com. That's not limited to questions. You guys got comments, concerns, criticisms, etc. Constructive criticisms, not just you suck or something. That's not nice.
I mean,
if you listen to us on YouTube, please go to the iTunes podcast app and give us a review there. And 5 stars preferably, but 4 if you don't like us that much.
Or just 5 anyway.
Or 5 anyway. It's no skin off your back, and it helps us get noticed by other people. And if you like Super Meat Boy, actually Super Daryl Deluxe reminded me of that. If you like Super Meat Boy, I played through the first 2 worlds on our channel. Go to GameGo Podcast GameGoPodcast.com/YouTube. It'll be on there. I think it's one of the most recent videos.
Yeah.
Go check it out. I have a lot of fun getting killed by saw blades that I run into over and over and over again. And the noises that Super Meat Boy makes are not great.
That game...
It's a lot of squishy noises.
That was a fun game, though.
Yeah. The boss fights and little cutscenes that take place after are freaking amazing.
Yeah.
So check that out. Email us. And thank you for letting us into your ears.
Mm-hmm. See you guys next week.
Bye.